Hi everyone! I hope you're all having a fantastic day. My day is going great and it's about to get way better as we reminisce the old times in PUBG Mobile. I was going back through some of my first PUBG videos and got hit with nostalgia. Hard. So today what I decided to do was make a video talking about all of the things only old players will remember in this game. PUBG Mobile has changed a ton over the past year, and we have to take a second to recognize the original players in this game. You guys are awesome. So yeah, brace yourself, because you'll be hit with a lot of nostalgia as well. I hope this video puts a smile on your face as you remember old times. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel for tons more awesome PUBG Mobile content uploading this summer. Turn on post notifications so you're notified by my next awesome PUBG Mobile video uploading on June 14th. And let's get this video started. In some of the earliest versions of PUBG Mobile, we all got to enjoy something new players don't have the pleasure of witnessing: using 8x scopes on the rifles of this game. Who remembers when you could put an 8x scope on the M16A4 or the Scar L? You could turn any of these weapons into what I like to call the poor man's DMR, and man, it was beautiful. I really miss being able to do this with these guns. A lot of times, people never even needed to pick up snipers because, I mean, you could essentially turn an assault rifle into a sniper. This provided a whole new side to how PUBG was played. You had to be so careful of someone at far range. They no longer just had the slow-firing AWM or Kar 98K, which if you missed, allowed the enemy a second or two to escape, but instead had a fast-firing and accurate alternative that would be the clear winner in any situation. I guess with that clear difference in performance, PUBG developers decided to change the game to make the snipers once again the best at long range. They decided to do this right around the time the second map was added into PUBG, Miramar. Wait, so that means all the maps weren't there in the beginning? Yeah, back in the earliest days of PUBG Mobile, all we had was Erangel, and that was it. There was only one option for a map in PUBG, and, well, that was obviously not ideal. See, I like having several different maps in PUBG Mobile because it gives me choices, and we all like choices. I can guarantee if we took a survey of everyone watching this video right now, at least a decent percentage would probably get pretty bored of PUBG pretty quickly if there was only one map. Having the 4 that currently exist, we are continually provided with unique experiences and an entirely new atmosphere each map we go into. Now, if we were to look back over a year ago, only the earliest of PUBG Mobile players will remember this, when this game wasn't even in English or any other language. The very first version of PUBG Mobile was only in Chinese. I remember it. Do you? If you played that version, you're a legend. You had to have played before mid-March 2018 when the first global version was released, and that was a long time ago. I remember those days when I had no idea what anything meant. I only could identify things based off of the pictures and say things like, "Oh, hey, look, I got that thing that makes my sniper more steady," having no clue that it was called a cheek pad. It was certainly a struggle trying to understand everything and playing on Chinese servers, but it was worth it in the end. We all had PUBG on our phones before the whole rest of the world did, and I think that's certainly something worthy of noting. You know another thing only original PUBG Mobile players remember? Well, at least the players who started playing within the first 6 months. Who remembers Rules of Survival? Who remembers playing Rules of Survival? That game was one of the most popular games on my channel for a while. But after around October 2018, it really lost a lot of popularity. Old players in PUBG Mobile remember when these two games competed for the #1 position. And for a while, it seemed neck and neck. There were tons and tons of dedicated Rules of Survival fans, me included, for a long time. But over time, more recent updates didn't really take that game in the right direction, and PUBG Mobile came out the clear winner. PUBG Mobile is still one of the most popular mobile games ever, but Rules of Survival? I still love it, but man, I haven't heard of that game in a really long time. Moving along in this list, the 5th thing only original players remember in PUBG Mobile was a time when seasons didn't exist. So we look at present day, And we see literally every big battle royale game has seasons. It's pretty much commonplace in this day and age, right? You have to level up your player in a season and get special rewards. New rewards each season. But guess what? Back in the early days of PUBG Mobile, we didn't have a season. Season 1 came out several months after the game was officially released. So for a few months, the game was so simplistic. You just played and you won, and that was it. There was nothing else to it. It was just Battle Royale. And honestly, it's kind of cool to think about how it was back then. Now, there's a lot more you have to keep up with in PUBG Mobile, and it's a lot more complicated. I reminisce the days when things were simple. However, simple days caused massive problems. At a time when PUBG Mobile wasn't nearly as popular as it is now, the developers weren't as active as they are now in combating bugs. In the early days of PUBG Mobile, those watching this video who were the originals remember when glitches and bugs were everywhere. Everything from flying cars, to never leaving spawn islands, to falling right through the map were entirely possible just by chance in this game. You never know what was going to happen your next match you jumped into. Believe it or not, out of all mobile games I tested, in the very beginning, PUBG Mobile was one of the glitchiest ones I had ever seen. I guess it makes sense. Considering how large the map is, everything will never be 100% perfect. But it's still crazy to think how some glitches worked. There was one where if you entered a UAZ underneath a bridge, it would teleport you on top of it. How did they look past that? How does that even happen? I have no idea. Now, as this game gets developed more and more, we see more and more new things being added in. New weapons, new attachments, and many other things have made their way over the months into PUBG Mobile. Some of the most popular attachments nowadays that didn't exist in the early versions of PUBG Mobile were the 3x and 6x scopes. Yes, there are many people watching this video right now who remember times when you only had a holographic sight, red dot sight, 2x, 4x, 8x, and 15x scope. That was it. You didn't have any of these other new things because I guess the developers looked past that. But I'm super happy they added these scopes in because I love the 6x scope more than anything. It's like the perfect range for a semi-auto weapon like the M16A4, and then with the 3x scope, it's perfect with fully auto on weapons like the Scar L and M416. They are fantastic attachments, and I'm super happy they were added in. One thing a lot of old players remember, and I honestly don't know if this is something you guys either liked or didn't like, was a day when there were no loot crates on your profile, and you couldn't get things like weapon skins on your guns. This only existed for a short time. Pretty soon after the game got released, we saw the introduction of skins, and, well, the rest was history. But back then, the game was a lot simpler. Just like we said earlier when talking about a time with no seasons, back at one time, every player had a weapon that looked exactly the same. And the way the gun looked wasn't even important in this game. It was simply down to raw skill, and I think that was a pretty cool time. Now, there are players entirely dedicated to customizing out their weapons, which there isn't anything wrong with that, but it detracts from the main thing people want in this game: skill. Another extremely dark time in PUBG Mobile history was when the only mode we had was the original 100-player, 30-minute long Battle Royale. That was it. Back a long time ago, the original players of PUBG Mobile remember a time when War Mode and Arcade Mode, alongside any limited edition game modes like Survive the Night and the Chinese version's Dragon Mode, didn't exist. At one time, we didn't really have a good place to practice with certain weapons. Now, I will stand by my statement that War Mode is perfect for practicing how to get better with all of your weapons, and I'll say that until the end of time. But there was a time where we didn't even know War Mode existed. Arcade Mode is great too because you can basically play regular Battle Royale in a condensed time frame. I am so happy they added these new game modes into PUBG Mobile because it provided us with hundreds of more hours of fun without getting bored. And last, the very last thing that OG PUBG Mobile players will remember is something that is very near and dear to my heart because this is something that helped me oh so much back in the day: the GFX Tool. I'm sure everyone on Android remembers this GFX Tool app. It's a probably pretty familiar logo, and I bet a lot of people still have it downloaded on their phone. Well, the problem with this app is about a half a year ago, players started getting banned for using it because it went against the terms of service. And well, that marked the end of this popular GFX tool. Luckily, little public service announcement, I have found another GFX tool that doesn't get you banned that I can talk about in one of my next videos, if you guys would like. But we can't forget about the one that started it all. The biggest and best GFX tool for all PUBG players. The tool that allowed the poor man's phone to run at a stellar performance. The tool to make you feel like a pro once again. Rest in peace, GFX Tool. You will not be forgotten. And with that, with this sort of sad ending to the video, we're actually finished with the list. I don't want to end off on a sad note though. I want all of us to sit back, think, and reminisce these times as great memories we had in the early days of PUBG Mobile. Smile, and just know that more awesome memories will be made in the future. This game has come a long way, and it has so much more potential to be even better than it already is. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it if you took a second to leave a like rating down below. Subscribe to my channel for more PUBG Mobile content coming out this summer. And hey, do you have that notification bell clicked on? If you don't, you'll miss out on my next PUBG Mobile video uploading on June 14th. Don't miss it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all later.